Alright, that's better. I should have checked that. I clicked go live and then I'm like, oh no, I forgot to turn the mic on. So I was just talking into nothing. Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here for yet another Moonshire Monday. Still have not missed one. Very happy about that. Excuse me. Angry Barry, Wolf Eterni, Ratman Zori, hi. And some folks from earlier, Snippet and Prayer, Allfather, and the Lava God, hi. Thank you so much for being here. Today I'm going to be working on level design, which is something I haven't really done for a little bit. Oh, when I, when I leaned over to turn my mic on, it got my hair all frazzled, so now I'm just still getting situated. But thank you so much for being here. Like I said, I'm going to be doing some level design, so let me open up that little piece of software. This is tiled. Noel the Pointer, Karavi, Vishnu, Stormer, Zarek. Thank you so much for being here. Is the game almost done? I wouldn't say it's almost done, but I am fast approaching the updated demo version. I don't have a date for it yet. The engine is Love 2D. I'm noticing that there's a bit of delay with the stream chat just because I'm able to see the chats immediately when they come in. But maybe I should wait until they show up like above my head. But I'll do my best to keep track of that. So the maps I want to work on are specifically these ones. Okay, these. So this is just the first map. And what I'm changing is that all of the maps used to be 20 tiles tall. Like, let's say this one. Oh, wait, no, I already changed this one. Like this one. So this map is 20 tiles tall. And I'm going to go through all of the maps and increase the size from 20 tiles to 24 tiles. It just gives me a little bit of extra space to work with. Does my game include UI elements like buttons? Yeah, it definitely does. Let me go ahead and show that real quick. So I've been working on the UI a little bit over the past few days. And it has this pause menu where you can look between the different tabs, and I think it's pretty nice. It works well. One thing that I'm looking into, though, is finding a proper, good pixel font. Because that is something that I'm really struggling with, where I like the readability of a high-res font like this, but a pixel font would fit into like the aesthetic a lot better. How do I get the UI elements in Love 2D? This is all custom. I just custom made all of this stuff. It's custom coded. I custom made all these buttons on all this tabs. So yeah, UI is kind of a challenging aspect in most game frameworks or engines, just because, at least in my experience, the built-in options are fine, but when it's mixed into the world, like my pause menu kind of like, it kind of, how do I explain this? A pause menu that's like a main menu, it's simpler just because it's like text on the screen. But when you have like all these moving images and elements, and there's animations, and you can click on things, it's complex. And I found that custom coding it is just more natural for me. But I know it's gonna be different for everybody else. It's gonna be different. My pixel art is good. I mean, I get a lot of help. It's not just me. But it was also a lot of time spent just practicing and working on my skills over time. Whoa. Sorry. I keep adjusting my hair because I am self-conscious about that. I don't know if you guys are ever like that, where it's like your hair is sitting just the wrong way, but like it's extra bad because I'm on camera and now I'm like noticing it extra hard. So what I'm going to do is all of these maps, D1, I'm going to start with D1, is since I'm giving myself more vertical room, I already changed it so that this map is 4 pixels taller. So I got the 3 pixels up here, and then I added 1 extra pixel down at the bottom. So now I just need to kind of go through and reorganize things a little bit better so that it fits this new size. Which, there's a few things I could do for that. So the thing about all of this is I'm also spending a lot of time rethinking kind of the layout of some of these things. So I'm going to actually delete most of this stuff and kind of start fresh. Would I ever do another set of tutorials for more advanced topics for Love 2D? Yeah, I consider that. I would probably be more, I wouldn't say like a set of tutorials, but if there's a specific topic that people want to hear about, I would definitely do that. Is it better than Godot? I don't know. I wouldn't really say something's better than Godot, but I would say that, like, it's different for sure. They're both free, though, so you can try them both out and see which one you like better. But they're really different experiences. When you use a framework, it's very code-focused. You have to find external tools to fill in the gaps. I'm going to delete all of these. Come on. I'm going to try and delete all of these objects, and then we're going to start fresh. Because I think that the tiles are going to be pretty different going forward. Adele Adam, hi. And Ubos Horn Lantern. And let's see, Pry Watney 102. What if you had a height map for every tile and added ray tracing to the game? I mean, yeah, that sounds cool, but probably a little bit too complex and advanced for this type of project. So since I have more vertical space, I'm going to move all of these tiles up a little bit. I'm going to grab all of these. I'll probably actually grab this too. Or actually, maybe all of this. I think I only need to move it up one. I think I'm going to move all of... I think we're just going to get rid of all of this on the right-hand side. Sapphire Fire, Zirek Rick. Is there no power system, just weapons? At the moment, I'm just doing weapons. But there's a I'm trying to make it unique. Oh, one other thing I should show you is the the punch. So I kind of want to make it so that you don't start with a sword anymore. I want to make it so that you start with a punch. So, and the reason why is because every weapon in the game, you can actually see the character holding it, but the sword is the one exception where it was like invisible. So I'm experimenting with a fist, where when you don't have anything equipped, instead of slashing a sword, you like do a punch, and you punch things. And it helps kind of clarify that being unarmed is less effective than having an actual weapon equipped. But I think that this matches my my vibes, where if you're holding something, you're going to use whatever it is that you're holding. And if you're not holding something, then like you got nothing to go off of. Have I finished the skeleton yet? No. I wouldn't say that that's a priority of mine right now. If you haven't noticed, like, I jump between different tasks a lot. And, oh, music bot is dead. Yes, the music bot is dead. For some reason, when I sign in to mix it up, it's not working. I have technical issues with this dumb stream all the time. It drives me nuts. But yeah, the music chat bot is not working right now. I spent a half an hour before stream trying to sign in, but it would not sign in. It just kept failing, and there really wasn't anything I could do. And looking online for some kind of music chat bot, I was having trouble with it. So if anyone has any suggestions for a good music chat bot that is not really annoying to use, because I've been using this one called Mix It Up, and it's fine. But like I said, whenever I try to sign in today, it's just not working, and it fails, and it doesn't give me any explanation, so it's been a big pain in the butt. Would I up the movement speed when not holding an item? That's an interesting idea, and I kind of experimented with that a little bit, because I might even have weapon stats. I had something similar to that where there was like mass, extra mass. So like when you held a greatsword, I can zoom in a little bit more. When you held a greatsword, it would give you extra mass, which means it would make you heavier. And that impacted a few things, like how fast you swam and how far you'd be knocked back. But I found it too annoying. I found it too weird that sometimes your movement and like physics calculations were different just because of this value. And so I have it commented out, so it's not in the game anymore right now. But it's an option. It is certainly something I could do. Would I say Lua syntax is similar to Python's? It's definitely similar to Python's. Python's is probably even simpler, but it's weak typing for the variables, and you don't have the curly braces, and I think that there's a lot of similarities. How do I go about a workflow as my streams? I honestly, I struggle with that, if I'm being honest. It's tough staying on track because I just get distracted and think of other things that I want to focus on. But yeah, in this case, I really do just kind of need to settle down and get things done because I'm kind of a procrastinator. In general, I'd say I'm a procrastinator, and that's not a really good quality to have. So I'm gonna start moving this stuff around. Like that, maybe? Are my glasses anti-glare or permanent? They are, I don't know if you call them anti-glare. They are, what do you call them? The blue light reducing lenses. So they are slightly yellow. I don't know if you can tell on camera. I think you can. But it looks like I have jaundice eyes because my lenses are slightly yellow. I think it's kind of cool, actually. When I first got them, I was actually really mad that they were yellow, but now I kind of like them. It's like a little part of my brand, I guess. The yellow eyes. What a flattering a flattering thing. So what I'm doing here is I'm literally just like plopping in all of these walls so that I can start building out this area and see how I can make it look. Probably this one. Yeah, and the problem part with look at this. You can see through it, so I need to actually go under and put an additional like tile here, or I guess probably like this one. Maybe not that one. Maybe maybe this one. Yeah. This song's scary. Oh my gosh. I do like it though. That's fine. Would the game explode in HP Windows 10? Yeah, it would be fine, as far as I know. And like, you can try it out now. If you can download and run Steam, then you can test it and see if it works. I think that it will, though. As far as I know, there's no spec requirements, and any PC that can run Steam should be able to run it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. And I shouldn't have deleted all those walls. I really shouldn't have. That was kind of a mistake. Because now I have to do this all from scratch. It's not that big of a deal. And actually, do I even want to go down more? Really, I should plan this out a little bit better. What I should do first, really, is I should plan where the water exactly is going to go before I start doing the elevation walls. Because this takes a long time to place those in. When instead... you know, I can place the water down quickly and then get the design in place. So let's do this. Surface. XD Sloth, hello. XD Sloth, hello. Hi, welcome in. I had to do your homework. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Vishnu. But yeah, you're welcome to come back in whenever you have some downtime. Recently found or finished Earthbound. Now I realize why people hype it up. Oh yeah, it's a cool game. It's a weird one, and it takes some getting used to in some cases, just because like I think when I played it I was still a little new to RPGs, so I didn't quite get it, but now I really like it. I think I want to move all of these all of this section down here up, because this little campsite down here is so small and it needs more room. So I'm gonna move all of this, maybe just this. Has anyone reported their game freezing when picking up the item in the secret cave? Yeah. Yeah, that's a known issue. I have it fixed. It's fixed in this version of the game, but yeah, the Steam version still has that bug. Actually, I need to copy all of these layers because there's some top layers too. So I'm gonna try doing something like this, because oh, this is so ugly. See, I had to like delete some of these extra tiles because it placed them in. Got a little bit ugly there. If you can't tell what I'm doing, I'm like erasing tiles, and now I'm gonna like place these correct ones in because it got screwed up. Would the game any mods or any mod support? Yeah, it will. It's not something that I'm actively working on, but it is something that I'm conscious of, and as I'm developing new stuff, I'm making it so it would be mod friendly. So for example, all the mobs with a B, mobs, it's going to be really easy for people to mod their own mob because all you would need to do is provide a soul file, like, I don't know, here's the eye enemy, and it's just a small file that has like the dimensions of the sprite, some of the details for the animation, how much health it has, what its speed is, and, you know, like these little properties that are different between each enemy. But it's really easy for someone who's not a coder to make a file like this. Like, I wouldn't call this coding. I would just call this setting a bunch of properties, like what its health is. This is human readable stuff right here. Health is 3. It's pretty easy. Did I study programming, or am I self-taught? I studied it. I took like classes in high school and stuff, and then I got a computer science degree. Man, my hair is bothering me. I don't know if you can tell. I keep messing with it, and it's like driving me nuts. I'm sorry about that. I know that's like it's like a nervous habit that some people have, and I can't get over it. Okay. So, let's go back to this. I was cleaning up the tiles, but I think that this is... Oh, here, I need to get rid of this one too. And how about this terrain as well? Yeah, this. Base 2. I need to get rid of this. So the original idea here was that you would already have your sword, and there would be a lot more space to like hit stuff. But really, since you start with just the fists now, or at least that's what I'm going to try, I'm going to make more space so that instead it's a bit more compact, where the player starts here, and the, what do you call it, the telescope is going to be right here, but it's just going to tell you how to move, then you can walk down here and hit the enemy. Trying to make a game in Left 2D right now. How do you make the enemies attack something? I mean, that whole process end to end is really tough and complex. If it's your first game, I think it might be a little bit complicated to explain, but if you have specific questions about the process, I can help out with that. Regular Show or Gravity Falls? I watch Regular Show a lot more than Gravity Falls, but I like both of them. You bought your Udemy course recently, and it's a bit old using 11.3. Yeah, I really should update it. So thankfully, the differences between 11.3 and 11.5 are not really noticeable. They're pretty minor, especially when it comes to the content in the course. It's perfectly fine to, like, really don't have to change anything about what that course is using, but that is still something that I should update, because there's some minor aspects that I could fix. And really, that course could use with, like, a bit of a facelift, because it's been a few years since I recorded it. But yeah, thanks for bringing that to my attention anyway. What do I use to make Moonshire? It's called Love 2D. Whoops. And, oh, there's some more stuff in the water. So the reason I'm moving this down is because I'm going to try and make a new little section here. Might need to move it over slightly. No, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think I just need to move these tiles to here. And then I'm going to put a little spot right here for the player to, like, sit in. So, get rid of all these details some more. Feature and past. Hello. Thanks for stopping in. I feel like you only really learn how to do something when you make enemies attack the player, like when you write the code yourself. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean, is that, like, if I were to explain it with words, I don't really think that would be super helpful. Just because it's such... There's so many pieces that you had to go through each piece by piece. I'm trying to... The way I have this organized is really, really sloppy. But it's okay. So if this is the base layer... Oh, I'm mixing them. I really shouldn't do that. Okay, so I accidentally used terrain here, when I should put this on the base layer like this. And actually, I shouldn't even be doing that. I changed it so that water is considered terrain, so I am going to change that again. So let's take all of this. You make a game right now? That's awesome. Perfect. For the water, did you make it? How do you make it move? So Tiled has a built-in tile animation editor, and I'll show that. Oh, I see why. I'll put that on the details, actually. So first, the reason why these layers are mixed up is because this is the first map, and I wasn't quite sure how to organize these layers yet. It looks like I put this on the terrain layer. I really shouldn't. I'm going to put this waterfall on the... You know what? I'm going to put it on base 2 because terrain... No, it can't be that. I'm gonna make a terrain 2 layer just because I'm gonna keep this consistent where water is considered terrain. I don't want to put water on the base layer. It just doesn't make sense there. Is there any reason to learn Scratch while learning to code? Well, the thing about Scratch is that it kind of helps you with the fundamentals of coding, where like even though Scratch doesn't have the written language of coding like you would see in here where you have like if statements and you're calling functions, like even though Scratch is the visual scripting, it is still using a lot of these concepts. Like you do still have if statements or conditional statements. You do still have functions that you can make in Scratch. So if you learn Scratch, it would make it a lot easier to pick up other languages later on. And the same is true with regular languages too. Like if you learned how to code with Lua, it's a lot easier to pick up a different language after that. Have you always faced the possibility to climb up the mountain faster if dashing? Climb up the mountain faster if dashing. I don't know. I don't quite remember that one. See, the thing is, since the Steam demo is so old, it has some bugs in it that are also so old that I can't quite remember all the time which ones I fixed and which ones I haven't. Any tips to make a Metroidvania game like Hollow Knight and Love GD? I mean, my only advice would be to keep it simple, because that sounds really complex. Like, even a Metroidvania is, in some ways, more complex than my game. In some ways. I'd say that my game is a similar level of complexity. Complexity. Let's do terrain, dark. So like I said, I want the player to... This isn't panning out how I was hoping it would. I think instead I'm going to move all of these tiles over and give myself more horizontal room. Because the one thing I'm watching out for is I don't want players to be able to swim across and enter the waterfall because there's a secret behind the waterfall. And so there can't be too much, it can't be too close. But I don't think that's too close. I'm going to move this back over here. Like this. Excuse me, I keep clearing my throat. I should have warmed up my voice a little bit more. I started to. I started getting in the habit of doing voice warm-ups where I'll do it real quick, but it's really embarrassing. You're supposed to go... And then it like clears out your voice. And then also, I've been doing like tongue twisters. I've been saying, she sells seashells down by the seashore. The shells, seashells. The shells she sells are seashells for sure. But I didn't practice so now I'm screwing it up. How hard is it to make your game? I mean, it's pretty tough because it's all like kind of custom. But I don't know. I wouldn't say it's too hard. It's hard getting used to game development in general. I'm going to get rid of this. And instead of how I had it before... I'm so indecisive if you can't tell. I keep like going back and forth on like where this cliff should go. And it's not even that important. It's such a minor detail. Have I watched Indie Cross? No, I haven't heard of that. Have I tried Roblox? It uses Lua. No, I've not tried Lua, I've not tried Roblox specifically, but a lot of people come to my channel and my Udemy course too, talking about Roblox. So yeah, I'm aware that it's like a really popular way people are working with Lua and making games with it. Recommended sprite size? These tiles are 16 by 16, but there's no recommended tile size. You can use whatever you want. This is so ugly. Man, really how I had it before is better. I guess I could do something like this, where it's even closer. I could move, yeah, I could move the waterfall over. That's what I think I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna move the waterfall over, so that it reduces that possibility of being able to swim into it early. Like here. Because the idea is, like, in this intro scene, the camera is gonna start up here and then pan down this way. So actually, this is a better spot for the waterfall. And then, which editor is this? This is called Tiled. But then for my code, I use Visual Studio Code. Indie Cross is like Super Smash Bros. With indie characters. Oh, cool. That sounds neat. I really like Smash Bros. I tried sleeping, just makes my eyes hurt. Why did I choose to use Lua and not C++, Java, or something else? The only reason that I chose Lua is because I wanted to use Love2D. So then that raises the question, why did I choose Love2D? It's just because when I was trying out the different engines and options, it's the one that I like the most. So it wasn't really that Lua hooked me, it was that Love2D did. It just really clicked with me, and that's why I stuck with it. But I wouldn't say that it's that advantageous over any other language. Because if you told me that I had to switch over to start using C# or C++ or Java instead, it really wouldn't be that big of a deal. I wouldn't like it, especially Java, but it would be fine. I think I'm going to try and do one of these here. Whoop, wrong one. Yeah, this is fine. I think now, I'm going to... Whoop. Okay. Have I tried Phaser? Yeah, actually I did. I made a game with it too. Because I tried out Phaser when I was looking for engines to use. And yeah, I made a game with Phaser and it ran in a browser and it was cool. I liked it. But that was also the first game that I made with a framework. And it was really challenging and I moved on from it. But I like Phaser. I think it's really good. And especially if they're still developing it. I bet they are. The only criticism I would have with Phaser is that JavaScript as a language is kind of messy. And people who use JavaScript probably know what I mean. It's a bit of a rough language at times, but I do like it. Oh, I am really unhappy with how this is playing out. I think what I'm going to do instead is... I'm being so meticulous about such minor things. All I'm trying to do is figure out where is the player going to start this map, and I think that it's going to be more vertical. So, like, it'll start right here. So let's get rid of all this. Again, I'm done with the terrain, the terrain stuff for now because it is a big waste of time. I'm breaking my own rule again where I'm working on the cliffs when really I should be working on everything else and then work on the cliffs. Have I ever played Magicka? No, I've never heard of that actually. Hollow Knight or Shovel Knight? Hollow Knight. But I like them both. I played Shovel Knight on 3DS and I got the 3D experience. It was awesome. Water, surface, on terrain. I think this is okay. The thing is I want to make sure that there's enough room in this little spot right here. Enough space, but not too much space. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do. Whoop, I think I'm gonna do something like this. And then the starting point is gonna be right here. Do I not have any auto tiling? I have auto tiling for some things. The cliffs are too complex to have auto tiling. I have auto tiling for like the water, like this, and I have water tiling for like specific types of cliffs, and then like the dark patches of grass on the ground, which is what I'm gonna do right now. Oh, wrong selection. I need dark actually. Maybe I could move the dirt patch in too? After trying and failing for years, I finally put 18 hours into Hollow Knight this past weekend, and I'm right, the game is a masterpiece. Awesome! I'm glad you're able to give it another shot. I do think it's kind of hard to get used to, and also I think that game doesn't have the best intro. Because I replayed the intro recently, and I think it starts kind of slow. Like walking through the Forgotten Crossroads is kind of boring because it's quiet and moody, which is neat. It's a good first time experience, but it is also really slow paced. I would say that it could be better. Grey Googly Moogly, he's locked in. It's true. You can tell when I'm in my flow state. I always say that. So I'm gonna try getting rid of this again.
Yes, I remember.
What the heck is that?
It's great that you're so aware of when you're in that focused.
What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, my phone. Did you guys hear that? My phone just started listening to me. My Google AI assistant just popped up and scared me. That was freaky. Actually, like my pocket just started talking to me because it overheard me talking about something. I'm getting cold feet about getting rid of that. I think I'm gonna keep it because I like it. I have a full level to work with. If I really do need more space, then I'm gonna move the waterfall over again because I have that power. Like there. And so I'm struggling, if you can't tell. I'm really struggling. My phone was explaining just how locked in I was. It's because I said Google. Oh, it's because I said googly moogly. Yeah, be careful. Don't. I didn't talk to you. That's scary. That makes me nervous that my phone can just randomly start talking. I actually thought that it started playing a video because I was watching YouTube before this, and like I didn't know what video it was, so I was afraid it was gonna play something weird. Maybe I can move all of this up again, like that. And then it can be one of these. It's a little... It's okay. I think like that's pretty good. And then now that's actually enough space. See, everyone who's watching, they're like, what is he even doing? I'm trying to make a little spot where I can put the telescope. That's all I'm doing. Oh, zoom out so we can help you? No, I mean, I don't think that it's gonna be too hard to help. I just have to keep trying and placing things and seeing what I think looks good. I think that this is what I'm gonna go with, right, like that. And then now I can actually draw in the water to make it match. So now, go here. I can actually go like this. And you make it look a little bit more natural. And I can move the waterfall over again. I think that this looks a little dumb, so I'm gonna move this up. No, I think I'm gonna move the entire waterfall up. Like this. And then also over. There we go. I think this is looking a little bit better. Split the waterfall? I don't know what you mean by split it. I only managed to get 2 circles of spear on the, to appear on the screen and a health bar at the top of them. I mean, that's the first step. That's how you do it. Really like my videos. Keep going. Our greetings from Mexico. Awesome. Thank you. Hydrate. Thank you. Thank you. The diagram state, I must split the waterfall. I have no idea what you even mean by that. So, I think that this is okay. I think I'm gonna make it really, really tight where the water, like, completely meshes in like that. And then let's put these in and make sure this looks okay. Should I put this here or here? Yeah, I'll put it there. Okay. That's better. Okay, so the plan is the player is going to start right here. This telescope is going to be right here. And then the game starts and the camera pans in from up here down to where the player is. The only flaw with that plan is that it's really far up the screen. I think I'm going to move everything in the entire map down because now that I move everything up, it can come back down. What type of math do you learn for game dev, like collision check? I mean, so the thing about math and game development, because people talk about that a lot, is math is important for game development. It absolutely is. I use math every day. And the types that I use is like trigonometry or algebra, moving things around on a graph. Like, do you remember in school how they make you like plot points on a graph? That's literally what this is. It's like you can see the graph in the in what I'm working on right now. It's literally a graph. So that sort of math, I'd say I use a lot. But also, I wouldn't say math is a prerequisite for game development because there are tools that do all the complex aspects of it for you. Like vectors, for example. I know how to do vector math. I learned how to do all of that in high school, but I don't manually calculate vector math. Instead, I have, let's see, what would be a good example? Probably mob move. So dir is a vector. I know how to calculate the vector from a point to a point. I know how to do that, but it's quicker and easier just to use this function that does it for me. And also, thankfully, like, since I know how it works, it like gives me a better excuse to just like use these shortcuts. But what I mean is that using shortcuts can get you by, and then over time you can learn and like wean off of it. Because you could also say that something like Scratch. Someone was talking about Scratch earlier. Scratch could be considered a shortcut in coding because it's not like this. You don't have like the text. You don't have like the complexities of learning a detailed programming language. Scratch is just a drag and drop system. And that might like be a shortcut, but also it is still getting you in the door. So I wouldn't get hung up on the math aspect too much because if you get stuck on something, there's libraries and stuff that can help you. And also, it gives you the opportunity to learn those things. Like, instead of going into your math thinking, what math do I need for game development? Just go into game development and see what math you need. And then learn that math. It's like, you learn by necessity. That's a better way to learn in general. I want to learn the YouTube algorithm so you won't get copyrighted or get deleted from YouTube. I mean, the only thing that you have to be worried about is don't post other people's content. That's the only thing you have to worry about. So like right now I'm using Nintendo music, like Animal Crossing music. And the reason why I'm allowed to do that is because Nintendo chooses not to copyright claim their music as long as you're just using it as like background music or it's not standalone. And I say that just because like they haven't done that to me. If Nintendo did start claiming my videos because I'm using their music, they have every right to, because it's their music. Like they wrote this song that's playing right now from Pokemon, and if they didn't want me to use it, that's fine. That's their choice. But since they are kind, generally, they don't like strike people on YouTube for using their songs in the background, because it's like a mutual benefit. When I'm playing Pokemon music in the background of my videos, it's nice for people who are Pokemon fans, and it gets people more interested in Pokemon subconsciously, and it makes my videos better because I have nice music playing in the back. So it's kind of like a win-win in that case. But not every music developer is going to be the same. Not every game developer is going to be the same. And I respect every developer's choice to allow streamers to use their songs like how I'm using this. I stopped using a lot of Final Fantasy songs because I noticed that the Final Fantasy music tends to get claimed. Perfectly fine. They have every right to do that. It's just, it would be nice if I could play it. I will say that. Did I ever something like JSON maybe for modeling stuff? I haven't used JSON specifically for this game, but I used it for my job. When I worked at Microsoft, I had to use JSON quite a bit for different config files and things. How dare you emulate my 120-year-old game? I haven't seen too much of an issue with specifically Pokemon and emulation. I think the problem that Nintendo has with emulation is when it directly conflicts with a product that they are actively selling. And with Nintendo Switch Online, that's a high-profile product that they're trying to push. And if emulation is getting in the way of sales of that, I can understand why they are like a little iffy with it. But it seems like more of their issue with emulation is with their modern consoles. They seem to be pretty decent with like you can emulate Game Boy games and it's not a problem. Bro hates Pokemon like they started World War II. I don't hate Pokemon at all. I love Pokemon so much. Am I planning to use it? Am I planning to use like JSON? It may be, because an example of when I might use it is with the localization. I think localizers use JSON for this. I might be wrong. Maybe it's one of those markup languages instead, like XML. Maybe they use XML instead. But I would consider using JSON for something like this, or really, I would consider using it for mods too, or for people that want to mod the game, because it's just a really good human readable format that would work well. And like I think it's kind of what you're getting at is, wouldn't it be better to use JSON for what was it, the soul files? So like it would be better, honestly, to use JSON for something like this. I could, in fact, really, I could support both of them, where this is how I do it, but if I wanted to support JSON, there can be a JSON alternative, because JSON is just a collection of data. It's just a file that lists a bunch of stuff in an organized way. So that definitely would fit in. Do I have a different job other than this game? How do I maintain my life quality, any other income? That's a really, really good question. And no, at the moment, I don't work other than this game. This is my full-time thing. And, but yeah, I was a full-time software developer for a long time. And during that time, I was super mindful with my money. I saved back a lot, as much as I possibly could, and lived well below my means, so that now I don't have to worry about that aspect quite as much. I do still have to worry about it, and I have to start earning more money, and like the game has to release and hopefully make some sales. But this is funded by me, and it's funded thanks to the hard work I put into my career. And yeah, now I'm able to do this full time based off of that. What sprite size do I use for my characters? It varies from character to character. There really isn't any set size for the characters. The environment tiles is 16 by 16 always, but the characters, it varies a lot. I think I'm gonna move the waterfall over again. Yeah, this seems pretty decent. I guess actually now that it's organized like this, I can make the water a bit more of a barrier. So maybe something like it goes down that way. Get rid of these details. Honestly, I should get rid of all the details because they're just getting in the way. What monitor do I use? It's an LG ultra wide. It's a what is it? A 5-foot diameter monitor. It's very large, is all I'll say. It's very wide. And the way I stream is I'm just streaming the very center section. So this square that you see in the middle of the screen, like this is literally 1/4 of the whole monitor. I could fit 4 of those side by side. When was the first time I started doing Moonshire Monday? I can't even remember. You'd have to go back. Like, I tried a few one-off streams, but starting the Moonshire Monday weekly, I don't know. It's probably approaching a year at this point. So the way that this little route is supposed to go is... let's get rid of all this stuff down here, too. Have I played Expedition 33? Yes, I have. I finished it, and I loved it. Binge boy, Expedition 33 was amazing. One of my favorite games. It's so good. And it came out of nowhere. It's really exciting when a game like that just appears. Because, yeah, I mean, I didn't hear about it at all until it came out, and then everyone's like, oh, this is actually a very special game. July 2024? Wow. That is a while that I've been doing it. I'm glad that I haven't screwed up and messed up my streak. I think it needs to go down a little bit more. Like that, yeah. So the goal here is I need to make a small crossing where you can cross the river. I just started my weight loss journey, so can I ask you for some tips? That's amazing that you started, but I don't really have tips. I am a healthy weight, but that's mainly out of I don't know. I'm just lucky, because I was always underweight. Like growing up into my mid-20s, I was always super underweight, and I looked skinny. I looked like a skeleton, and I was self-conscious about that. But these days, I'm a much healthier weight, and I've been able to maintain it just from making sure that I'm not overeating and undereating. That's the only thing I can say. Weight loss is a tough journey, but good luck. I hope that it goes well. I know it's a lot of work. Let's try and do something. I know I keep erasing. This is how I make levels, by the way, is I put something down and then I like immediately erase it. How about like this? It's too... And the problem with all these like tiles is it can't look too square because it has to look natural. If it looks too straight, like rivers aren't this straight like this. It looks weird. Yeah, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can have it go back. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Does the bot work on YouTube? It normally does. Today it's not. I don't know why. But like you have to sign in to mix it up in order to get it to work. And I sign in, everything's going good, and it's like error. Cannot sign in. No music. Well, it's still playing the music. It's just not showing the title and artist, which is what I really like. Okay, I like this a lot. I need to... Probably something like this. And then it's going to be a actual unpassable section here. It's funny because like the layout of how I'm doing this water is more based around how good the layout looks than like how I want it to flow, so to speak. But the idea is the player starts here, and you go over here to attack the dummy, and then you walk down here, or maybe you try to go swimming, but you drown, and then you're like, oh, well, I can't go in the water. But then you walk down here, and there's nowhere else to go, so you have to cross the water. I think that's like the first like self-teaching moment. How to use that waterfall in the tile? Oh, that's a good question. I forgot to talk about that earlier. So in tiled, there's animated tiles. If I go here to edit tiles sheet, whoops, this is open. Edit. There's this animation editor, and you can see I have 8 different water tiles, all side by side. And all it's doing is it's iterating through each one. So it's doing this one, then this one, then this one, whoops, then this one, and 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 then finally this one. And you can see after all of that, it animates it down here in the corner. It's really small. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, you can see it. So after you click on each of those individual tiles, it's going to iterate through all of them for 120 milliseconds. And that's how it results in this like animated water ripple effect. And so it does that in multiple places in order to create that like waterfall effect. So now I can close all this, and I can go back. Whoops. I have so many maps. Okay, back here. What will be the output then? The output of doing all of that is just, it looks like this. When you import the Lua file into Tiled, there's helper software that updates the map so that it's constantly keeping track of which frame the animation is on, and so it's able to actually iterate through all of them and create a full like looping animation. It's nice. Is my sitting posture comfortable? It's comfortable for me, but at times like my problem is that I lean my neck forward like this a lot, when really I need to sit back like this. With my, well, really I should probably have my neck even farther back. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I could get a pillow. Is it bad to have your neck like this? I think that this is how I probably normally sit. But yeah, I have a problem with like leaning my neck forward. That's really bad. I'm just noticing that when I lean my neck back, it actually is like sore. I think I've been keeping my head too still for so long. Maybe I need a pillow. I think a pillow would be nice. It's just like, if I don't want to, I don't know, long story short, I don't want to screw up my neck. I said as long as it doesn't hurt. I think in general that's the best advice. My sister though is a medical professional, and I should ask her. No. Lua's easy. Yeah, in general, Lua's pretty easy compared to most. But, like, I wouldn't say programming is easy. It's just compared to most languages, Lua is one of the easier ones. Still not easy, though. So I think to add some variety with this edge, I'm going to use the... I'm going to do something like that. Or actually, I already did that on that side. I should do something like this. Yeah, that's pretty good. Or maybe I could do it like all the way down here. Maybe I could do like that. Or is that too much? I think I'm gonna do this. And then try and make the I just hate when it's so straight like this. It looks unnatural. I love how these tiles look, by the way, because it just makes this really rough, rocky edge, and it looks so cool. I really love it. But if you place the tiles down too straight, it doesn't look right. Especially vertically straight. Like these horizontal ones look okay. It's definitely the vertical ones I think that I get hung up on. how do I keep track of all the entities in the game? So when you ask that question, do you mean like how do I keep track of it in my mind, or how do I keep track of it in the code? Because in the code, there's an update function, and this update function literally goes through every single entity in the entire game and calls its update function. So like it goes through every shader, every particle, every damage effect, all the weather, all the menus, the UI, the sound effects, the or actually this is the music, the NPCs, the dialogue, the settings. So every single thing in the game gets put into this update game function, which then gets called from this update all function, which then gets called from love.update. So love.update calls this update all function, and that's how everything in the game gets managed. It is quite a bit to keep track of. But then keeping track of it in my mind, like, how do I keep track of all this stuff? The only answer is I've been working on it for so long that I have to. There's no way around it. So back to this. Yeah, I'm happy with how this is looking, but what I'm wondering is, would it be better if I make this symmetrical? And make it like a little alcove? I think it might actually look better like that. I'm gonna try that real quick. So 1 down and then 2 down like this. And then now I can go to this layer and do one of these and then one of these. No. I think that this is okay for now. Why aren't I using an entity manager? The function seems a bit bloated, or no? An entity manager. Oh, I mean, what does an entity manager do that a big update function doesn't do? Like, I'm open to switching to an entity manager, but I'm curious how does it manage things that's better than this? Because right now I have every individual thing organized by type, like all the effects are in its own category, all the tile states, all the trees. I mean, I would say like trees and plants can be consolidated in grass. Those should be consolidated into one thing, but like having all the shaders update, having all the particles update, that makes sense to me. An entity manager sounds like something that just kind of does this part for me, and I don't really know. Please fix the bottom right corner. Fix the bottom right corner. I don't know what that is. I can't decide. See, it's so hard with this because I do like it being symmetrical, but I think in this case it can't be. Please fix the right bottom corner. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm a perfectionist. I know I am. It's actually a problem. Yeah, actually, the thing about this one is I kind of wanted to loop back up because we have all this wasted space up here. I'm going to go this way and then kind of loop back up and around. So now we have some space up here to play around with. Let's do this. Oh, the rock. I mean, yeah, I'll fix all of this. It's not done yet. Is this all single-threaded? Yeah. I think that this will be okay. The only part I don't like is this really straight section of grass. Oh, man. I think I'm going to have to... Maybe I can move all of this over and up? Actually, I guess it needs to be like this because it's... That gap was too small now that I'm looking at it again. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I can move this up, I think. It just looks too much like a circle. Maybe I can move this one up. No. This is hard. This is hard. Okay, we're just gonna keep it like this. It's okay. But I don't know how to use Godot. It's way better. I'm sure in some ways it is, but the nice thing about Love2D is that as a framework, it has a lot of freedom for me to just code everything how I want. And you're right, it's better to use Godot when you don't know what you're doing, but when you know exactly what you're doing, I mean, they're both fine. Godot can streamline the process, and yeah, probably overall, someone using Godot can get more done, like in a given time frame compared to someone using Love2D. But if you like Love2D more than you like using Godot, then you're going to be much more likely to finish a game. Isn't Lua slow? No, not at all. The only thing that's slow is the development process is a little bit slower because you don't have a built-in engine that like does everything for you. So that's the best criticism, is that it is slower to develop in technically because, you know, like Unity has so much built-in stuff that you could argue that it's faster. But that's not what, I don't think that's what you meant by slow. It's like performance. The performance of Lua is really good. It's really fast and lightweight. It's good when you know what you're doing. Basically, all I meant by that was that when you're starting out, things are really overwhelming, and Godot can look very tantalizing because it handles a lot of the super tricky aspects for you. Can you find assets for Lua? That's not how assets work. So Lua is a programming language. Lua is just the code that you see here. The assets are just images. Images are agnostic to your language. So, and the assets that I'm using for this game could be used in a C# game, or a C++, or a Java game, or a Godot game. It's all the same. So your assets don't really, they're not tied to the engine or the language. What engine do I use? And would I say Lua is a beginner-friendly language? Yeah, definitely. It definitely is a beginner-friendly language. Excuse me for stuttering. What is the software called for creating the map? It's called Tiled. So back to this. Let's move this over one. So I think people will get the idea that you're supposed to cross this little gap. I think it makes sense, and it's not going to be challenging at all. But that's what what do you call it? Playtesting does. So all of this design, the good little town. Oh, did I pick the Emerald version? I don't remember doing that. Yeah, I know that we disagree on that. Yeah, I tend to like the Omega Ruby Sapphire soundtrack a little bit more than the original. But yeah, I think that the instrumentation on this track sounds better. I think there's sometimes when they change instruments and it just doesn't sound right. That's when I normally prefer the original. But I really like the arrangements in Oras. It's really nice. Does Tiled work with GameMaker? You actually don't need it with GameMaker. So GameMaker has a built-in level editor that's built into the engine itself. And it's really similar to this. It's not that much different at all, actually. I'm sure it has layers, and it has... it's actually better because when you put an object into your GameMaker map, you can see the object, while mine, you can only see the tiles. The Tier League gave us the whole Heart Gold sounds, or Soul Silver soundtrack, but with the Diamond and Pearl sound font. Whoa, that sounds weird. I didn't hear about that. I heard about the Terra League. I didn't know that they had new soundtrack versions. That's funny. So I'm trying to find the right thing. I think it's this one. GameMaker's room editor lets you run instance-specific code. It's better, however, you can cut me, or you can cut it if you ask me. I mean, there's going to be features in every engine, and that's kind of the problem with engine in general, is that there's going to be lots of features that you flat out do not need. There's features in there that are meant for like big AAA developers, and there are features in there that are meant for people who don't know how to code. So like some of these features aren't made for everyone. I compare this to what I worked on at Microsoft. When I worked at Microsoft, I worked on Microsoft Azure, and I worked on a part of Azure that lets people like manage who has access to what resources. And part of my criticism was that I felt like it was too hard to learn because we were adding so many new features, and having tons and tons of features is great. But the problem is the more features you have, the harder it is to learn something. So like if, let's say Unity was so big and so complex, it might end up being so time consuming to learn that it ends up being a wash. But I don't think that's the case. I think that game engines generally are easier to learn than frameworks. Have I used GameMaker for some projects? Yes. So when I was a kid, GameMaker is what I first started off with, and I got my start with game development using GameMaker. In fact, my first YouTube channel was a GameMaker channel, and it's still on YouTube today, but I'm not going to share it because I want to keep it secret. I'm going to make a video about it at some point soon. It's really funny. There's videos of me on YouTube doing GameMaker tutorials, and I was 12, and my voice hadn't dropped yet, so I just sound like a little baby, and it's really funny. Share it, share it. I'll share it, but not today. I want to make a video about that channel because it's so funny. It is actually funny. I love my level building process. Thank you. It's a little bit, I think the biggest criticism of my level building process is that I'm too indecisive and I nitpick on very minor things. That is not what you're supposed to do. The goal for pretty much everything that I work on is rush to the first draft. Like try to get to the rough draft, the first draft as quickly as possible, because I can fix all these little issues later. I don't need to focus on these minor things. It's such a waste. The secret channel is under investigation. Hey, if one of you guys manage to find it, if someone actually posts the name of that channel in the chat, I will agree. I will tell you if you're right. I will be okay with that. I just don't think you'll be able to find it. I told a few people about it. I told Goodgis about it. I talked to Goodgis once and I told him about it. Young Childcade found it. Yeah, I don't think that's what it is, unfortunately. So I went through a bunch of different aliases growing up. I think that's normal. Is that like when you're a kid, you create your first like screen name and it's really cringy, and then you change it like when you're a teenager, and then that one's really cringy, and then you become like a college student and you have to change it again, and it's like you go through that process a bunch of times. There's a free version of Asprite. It's called LibreSprite, but also Asprite is technically free because you could just compile it yourself. It's not XX something XX. It's not. But like, that vibe is very real. Like my friend's gamer tag on Xbox Live was something like that. The same alias tag since 2008. Awesome. That's an accomplishment if I'm being honest. Hydrate, thank you. Hi, thank you, Allfather. Yeah, I use Asprite for my pixel art. I was working on... What was I working on recently? I was working on mostly UI stuff. Because if I go to Moonshshire and go to my sprites... What was I doing? Yeah, I can't really show anything too interesting. I was working on this little icon. Oh, I guess that is one thing that I haven't really shown yet is I was really working on the main menu, or the pause menu, and changing the different dimensions and where everything's going to go, and what the tab icons were going to be. And I did kind of settle on something that's pretty decent. I have 5 tabs now. I have the items tab. I have the weapons tab. And you can't change your weapon unless you go to a sunflower. I have the dies, which I might change this to like outfit or appearance maybe. I have the map and the settings. So I think the organization of this is really nice. Did I have my face? Oh, huh? I don't know what you mean. That equals cosmetics. Oh, yeah. Because, yeah, you can change, like, your color, and now I'm white boy. I keep forgetting that I switched it to a punch. I actually kind of like the punch. It took a long time to get right, because, You know, designing an attack like this, it seems easy because all I did was I put a hitbox in front. But getting the timing of... Nope, that's not right, Wolf. Good guess, though. Did it have my... Oh, did it have my face? My old YouTube channel did not have my face. It was just my voice. And I will give you a hint. It was Zelda themed. So that's my hint. If the channel doesn't have Zelda videos, it's not the right channel. So, and that's the other reason why I want to make a video about it, is because, like, I was making Zelda videos, specifically Zelda game development videos, back when I was 12, and now I'm 28, and I'm still making Zelda game development videos. The Legend of Child K, that's a good answer. Phasma Studios, nope. I think how much the punch pushes you is way too much. Yeah, I could see that. So the reason why it does this is because it came from testing with the enemies. When I'm fighting an enemy, it's hard to land up close and personal attacks. And since this is the unarmed attack, it has to be really easy for this attack to land. Even though I'm with you, it probably would make more sense for the player to be like more in place and like kind of like punch in place. It needs that range. It really needs that range. Otherwise, it's too hard to land the hits. I look 14. Yeah, I know. At times, I do look 14. It's nearly impossible to find me with just my voice. I know it's not gonna be possible, and that's why I said you're not gonna find it. Stanzer? Nope, that's not right. It's the same channel. No, it's not the same channel. That would have been fun if the punch does not currently have a combo, but that's a good point. I could do that. It would have been really cool if I kept that old channel and just kept making videos and never stopped, but I don't know. I think that happens too. When you're growing up, that you start one project under one name and you're like, well, I'm done with that. And that's what happened is like, I put videos out for a couple years when I was 12 or 13, and now it's over. Alright, it's not now it's not, sorry. It became over, but now it's back on, because now I'm making new videos. I think I want to make this go up one more. So we're going to do this. Snibo, hi. This is under top 2. You know, another bad habit I have. Oh, what game is that song from? It's from Cave Story. Let's move this over here. I love Cave Story. That's one of my favorites. Motion controls were a mistake. I thought that too until I played Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild's aiming with the bow and how you use motion controls to aim, it is the best way to aim. I love it. So I was also kind of a motion control hater, but I like it now. Aiming in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and probably Splatoon as well. It's so good. It's so nice. How is my game low res while the UI is high res? Yeah, that's a good point. So the truth is the game isn't truly low res. It's actually low res scaled up. So like, if I pick up, oh, great sword. Oh, that's a little animation I added. If we look really closely at the player, it's not true pixel art. If I zoom in really closely, if you look, you can kind of even see the artifacts, specifically on the sword. Since this isn't true pixel art, I'm rotating these pixels. Like, you can't actually rotate a pixel art sword like this, but since it's fake pixel art, it just looks fine. And especially like when it's zoomed out, you can't even tell. So the way that the UI has the high-res fonts, while everything else is pixel art, is because the game isn't actually pixel art. It's just pixel art scaled up, and that's it. So it's easy to put high-res fonts mixed in there. Does my old channel still exist? Yeah, it does. It still exists, and it is still online. But I don't think people should spend too much time searching for it. I will make a video about it because I want to. I want people to know about it. Whoops. I want people to know about it because it's actually good. Oh my gosh. You're not supposed to be able to get up here. I got pushed out of bounds. Isn't all modern pixel art games like this? Yep, every single one. Because if you're playing a pixel art game on a high-res screen, it has to scale it up. And sometimes they don't scale up the pixels perfectly. Like, a good example is Binding of Isaac. So if you look closely at Binding of Isaac, that game is pixel art, but it's like, it's high density pixel art. But then you get to cases where you can, like, make your character grow. There's a stat where you can grow bigger in Binding of Isaac. And literally all it does is it scales your pixel art to be bigger. So the pixels don't scale properly in that game because you can make your guy bigger, and now it's no longer right. And the same is true with the tiers, I think. Because you can make the size of your tiers bigger, and I think it just scales the pixels. It's not real. It's not real, it's a very gory game for you. So it's not the gore that bothers me. It's like the somber, sad tone. I think is kind of brutal, but you know it's meant to be kind of silly too. It's a good mix. I think that the way that Binding of Isaac has like the jokes and silliness mixed in with the morbid reality aspect, I think it's a good mix. Probably Watney says he found it. I'll believe it when you say it. Oh, Game Maker 19. No, that's not right. If that's what you're talking about. How old am I? I'm 28. You go to full screen dedicated mode and actually lower the res of your monitor if you want to. Yeah. Dude, you found it! Someone found it! Yeah, Prywatney. Prywatney found it. How did you know that was right? I'm so impressed someone actually found it. I didn't know anyone was going to be able to get it. But yeah, cat's out of the bag now. If you can, like, keep it under wraps a little bit, because I want to make the video. I want to make the cool, like, reveal where I show off this channel. It's actually really funny. Some of the videos on that channel are, yeah, Game Maker Zelda. Yeah, if you search for Game Maker Zelda, yeah, I guess I should have done that. It's a stream secret. Yeah, this is our stream secret, everyone. I'll go ahead and show it since it's already spoiled anyway. Here it is. Game Maker Crab. You have to actually search it as one word in order to find it. Let's subscribe. Don't subscribe. I don't have access to this anymore. I don't know what, I don't even remember what email I used for this. At Game Maker Crab? I wonder if I can recover this. Because that's a really good title. Game Maker Crab? I love it. That's really, really nice. But I'm gonna pause my music real quick because I want to show you guys the audio. Any advice for young devs? Just make a bunch of games. That's all I can say. You found it, but you didn't realize it was me. Okay, everyone, we're gonna listen to my little kid voice.
Hey, this is Game Maker Crab. Obviously, I have not been making very many videos lately, but that is going to change, whether you believe that or not, but it is going to change. I am going to make more videos, more tutorials, or whatever you want me to make soon. And this is the first of many that is going to come. This tutorial is about, like, making maximum lives, like heart containers.
I do sound older, if I'm being honest.
What you first do is go to your player or person object, and
I look so proud. I know.
Game start.
How could I not be? Look, it's 15
variable.
years ago.
I'm gonna set it, or the variable.
I was gonna say you don't sound
is,
12. Maybe I was putting on a voice or
_
something. So that's the second video I had voiceover. There's another one. I think it's this one? No. Oh! They all have like early 2000s butt rock as the songs, by the way. Okay, this one has voiceover too. Windows Movie Maker. Yeah, it's all Windows Movie Maker and unregistered hypercam.
Start out with just add a bullet sprite and a player sprite and a bullet object and a player object. Then you need to go to the bullet object properties and add a create event. And add a
That video is older than most of the viewers on the social media. I know. July 23rd, 2009. Oh my gosh.
And click OK. And then go to the player object properties.
That's so funny. I'm glad this channel is still up. Who's subscribing? It got 5 more subscribers. Stop subscribing. What am I looking at? This is my old channel from when I was a little kid. Reminds me of Game Factory. What inspired me to make Moonshshire? I just always loved Zelda games. I've always loved making Zelda-like games, and as you can see, this has been my passion for 15 years. Let's watch some of this Zelda fan game. I have to turn the music off for it though because it's all like licensed music. It's terrible. So let me turn my regular music back on. Let's go to this one. The Legend of Zelda: Embers of Life. That's so epic. Made with Game Maker 8. Wow. I'm gonna upvote this one. This is playthrough video number 4. This game is awesome, and I still have it. So I have the Lens of Truth equipped, and then when I use the Lens of Truth, it reveals the dungeon. And you can go into the dungeon. And it's really laggy because this is the water dungeon. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. This is from Game Boy. It's using the Link's Awakening sprites, so basically, yeah. I tell you not to subscribe. Yeah, don't subscribe to my old channel because I ain't uploading anything there. I mean, actually, it would be very funny if I could get access to this again. If they would, like, somehow give it back to me. I don't know. I don't know if they could. Oh, this is cool. You have the Rock's Feather, so you can jump across gaps. Oh, actually, this is the hook shot, so now you can just, like, hook shot across. Is there a way we could try it? No, there's not even a way that I can try it. So I'm able to get this game to run, this Zelda fan game. I'm able to get it to run, but only on my really old computer. I can't get it to run on this computer that I'm currently streaming with, just because I don't even know how. I don't know why it does that. You didn't when you were 12? You played Legos on dirt when you were 12? Well, so I mean, yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. It's just when I guess at this point I was using Game Maker for a few years, and a lot of the fundamentals came from Game Maker's Apprentice. So this is also, by the way, really ambitious for what a kid should do, and it was made easier because I stole all the sprites, or I used all the sprites from the Zelda games, so that's why it ended up being feasible. But even still, it's coded so terribly. Like these guys here, these Skeleton Man, I didn't know how to make it so that they change directions. So each direction is a different sprite, or is a different object. It's really dumb. I did so much at a young age. I like to think so. And I guess that would be my main piece of advice for young people, is just to do the same thing, to always be working on stuff. I borrowed the sprites. Well, it's a fan game. It's like, I think that's pretty normal to use real sprites in a fan game, but I never released this game. I only intended to make it for myself. But I think that is enough. It's enough old Game Maker footage for now. Don't let Nintendo hear about it. I mean, if Nintendo hears about it, then they're gonna have to take down the video. Oh no. Every single slot is just another instance of inventory object. Oh, I mean, as long as it's not being wasteful, like with performance, that's the only thing. Are you gonna give them their sprites back? Yeah, I took them and I never gave them back. Game you made last year isn't as good at that. I mean, it was made with Game Maker. I use a lot of shortcuts to get it working. It's not a race. Okay, let's go back to working on Nintendo sues Power World. Is there a chance they can sue you from Moonshshire? Well, Moonshshire doesn't use any materials that Nintendo, like, there's no Nintendo anything in this game. Like, there's inspiration, but that's it. So Nintendo's not going to sue me for this game because I'm not using any of their music, I'm not using any of their sprites, I'm not using any of their stuff or their concepts or their names. It's all unique stuff. That fan game I was showing a second ago, like this is all of their sprites, but this is just from a YouTube video that I made 14 years ago. This isn't something that I'm selling or distributing at all. It's not even real. It's just something that I made when I was a kid. Here is Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo, come back. Please don't take from me. Let's, had your stick to 40 did not go work for Microsoft. I mean, like I keep saying, it's always just a matter of sticking with stuff. It worked out for me because I was doing game development as a kid, so that means that by the time I was an adult, I was already kind of good at it. I think that the way I have this laid out is good. There's enough room, I think. I might move this section, or maybe it's okay. Gonna go very hungry? Yeah, I'm getting kind of hungry too. But I'll try to stick it out for the rest of the stream before I go get my food. How many layers are there? There's a lot. I mean, it looks like here there's like 15 or something. I can't even tell. So for code, I use VS Code, Tile is the level editor, and what engine? It's called Love2D. But yeah, since I'm using a framework, it does involve a lot of different tools, a lot of different things to get it all working end to end. I'm trying to decide if do I want to put dirt here? Because I want to put a fire pit right there. Yeah, so I'm going to do that, and then base 2 is going to be dark. Or actually, no. I'm going to put this one on base 2. My 15-year-old game was like Mario Clone in Multimedia Fusion. That was much like Game Maker, but it's 10 times less impressive than mine. I really do appreciate everyone being so kind about this fan game, but at the same time, I know how rough it is, and I am also aware of all the shortcomings it has. For example, it doesn't have a single sound effect. There are no sound effects in the game, and the performance is so bad because I didn't know how to optimize this stuff. Like all of these water things, these are individual water objects, which is not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to have animated tiles, but instead I had animated objects and I put in hundreds of objects, so the performance is just so bad. Every 2 minutes, every Monday. It's Love2D every 2 minutes, basically. I mean, it comes with the territory. I'm using a unknown framework. It's got to have some explanation behind it. I'm sorry, I need to go to the bathroom real quick. Give me 1 moment. Have I tried Moon Ring Game? The chromatic graphics are so good. No, I have not heard of that. I returned. Okay. Let's get back to this. What I wanted to do here was put... Or actually, you know... Yeah, I'm going to use base 2. So dirt. Because I want to... You know, that's actually not going to look good. Maybe I can move this over. Like this? And then this one? Oh! Maybe like this. About... Have I played Pikmin 3? No, actually I haven't. I played Pikmin 1, but I stopped. I stopped playing it because it has a time limit. I didn't know that. Banger song? Oh, I know. So my thing about Pikmin is actually really fun, and I like it, but the day cycle system is frustrating, and if you make it to the final boss and you run out of time, then you have to restart the entire game. So I didn't like that. I didn't like it so much that I quit. And, you know, that's kind of a lame reason to quit playing that game, but that's just how I felt. And I think Pikmin 3 goes back to that, where it's on a time limit. Oh, you know what? I like this. I like how I have this set up here. So there's enough space now that I can put in that little fire pit. How do I handle keyboard, mouse, and controller inputs? It's a big mixture of a bunch of things. Let me go ahead and show that. So over in controls, everything comes from this software called Baton. So there's this open source Love2D library called Baton that helps with consolidating all of the different control inputs into more easy to digest labels. So rather than like worrying about did the player click or did they press the space bar, did they press the A button on their controller, all I had to worry about is did they hit the attack button. And that means different things depending on your controller layout, but thankfully input is able to kind of help with organizing that. And I think that I have another schemes. This folder, or this file called schemes, that actually lists out all the different control options. So we have up, down, left, right, attack, dodge, and then also pause. So those are the different buttons you can press in this game. And then I have the default scheme for all the different controller layouts. So if you're using a keyboard and mouse, it's going to set the controls to all of these. And you can notice that I have multiple things set for any given action. So like pause, you can pause by pressing the return key, or like the enter key, by pressing the E key, which I'm actually going to delete right now because I don't like that, and also the escape key. And either of those is going to work. Input works with Love2D, use it for GameMaker. Yeah. But this still took a lot of work to kind of organize everything in a way that makes sense. But it does work nice because you're able to, like, here I have the controller layout, and then I have A and B and start, and then the left, the left stick, and then I think I have, the right stick can help you aim. I tried to make a 2D Minecraft clone. These tips for getting lost in code. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much advice other than by doing this a lot, you will start to pick up on the tricks to keeping things organized. Because really the main trick to not getting lost in the code is to not you can't copy and paste stuff. Everything needs to be organized in terms of like functions or classes. where you don't have to copy this stuff around. Instead, you have a function, and then I call, like here, I call change anim. Now, I could instead manually place all of this animation logic code. I could copy all of this and just put it right here. And this does the exact same thing that it did before. But thanks to having functions, it's just so much more organized having it this way. And then also, by just labeling it change anim, I know exactly what this line of code is doing, even though I don't have to read through all of this. And really the only advice I have is, like, over time you'll start to pick up on what needs to be a function, what needs to be a class, how should I organize things, how should these objects interact with each other, and how is the data between them going to be moved, because, like, that's a really difficult aspect, is the data side, making sure that the different objects in different locations in the game understand, like, where the data is coming from and what the values are. So that's a really, really tricky aspect of game development. It feels more organized and simpler to me. You're my goat? Oh, well, thank you, Karen. I personally really like GameMaker over Unity. Yeah, I really like GameMaker too, just because the simplicity really clicked with me. If it clicked with me as a young kid, I'm certain it would click to most people. Just because if a young kid can pick it up, why can't you? That's all I gotta say. But also, like, it still took me a lot of time and reading and watching tutorials and trying and failing. Really, the trying and failing part, that's the part that helps you learn. Because getting better at game development, it's not just reading books and watching videos. You really do just have to make games, and they're going to be really bad at first, but each attempt is going to be a little bit better. I don't know anything about coding, I just like Moonshshire. Well, that's so sweet of you to say. What do I use to organize the code in classes? Do I use classic library? I don't actually use classes. I know that I said the word classes just now, but Lua doesn't support classes, and technically my game doesn't either. But the way I organize my mobs, for example, is I have the soul, and the soul is kind of like the class. Because if I go into, like, the human soul, this is all stuff, because a human is just a mob, but it has all these specific properties, which is similar to classes, where this is the parent class and this is the child class. The child class can do everything that the parent class can do, but with its own unique aspects and sometimes its own, like, unique properties, and it has some other unique things to it. So that's kind of the way that I have everything organized, is I'm emulating object-oriented design, but it's not real. It's just, like, Lua's own flavor of it. I think that right now I want to see how this map looks, or, like, what the dimensions are like. It's going to be really bad, but we can at least explore this, like, in-progress map that I started working on. So if we go, we're gonna warp to waterfall. Okay, so it doesn't look that much different, but I like this spot a little bit better just because it encourages me to go down left, where before it was encouraging me to go up left, because you started, like, down here. And it's like, okay, well, where do I go? When you start up here, it kind of forces you to go down this way, which is what I was going to go for. Or it forces you into the water, and if you go into the water, you're just going to drown. Or if you know how to cross gaps, you could probably cross this gap, and that's okay. But then if you didn't know how to cross gaps, you would just, like, wander around down here, and then you get down to this little section, and it's like, well, I can't go any farther, so I guess I have to cross. Maybe I can make it a little bit easier. Maybe I can make it easier. What if I did something like this? I'm gonna get rid of all this for now. Yeah, the last update was quite a while ago. Man, I'm really struggling with this section up here because I need it to loop in and then back out. It's really tough. Did LDDK work with Love? I didn't actually import it into Love because importing things into Love it takes some work. Even Love 2D, or sorry, even Tiled, I need to download an open source library that can import tiled maps into Love 2D and render them. And I would need to do the same exact thing with LDDT. That is hard to say. LDTK. And it's not worth it. Cause yeah, we did try it out on stream a few times, and it seems fine, but it doesn't seem that much better than Tiled. And since Tiled already works pretty well, I don't feel like relearning a new set of software. When you try to use a controller with Bluetooth, it connects and disconnects frequently. It's not the controller turning off, it's not catching signal consistently. Hopefully you're not referring to are you talking about my game, or are you talking about like your own personal Bluetooth controller? Because it's like, what you're describing doesn't sound like a problem with the game. But maybe it is, that'd be funny. Let's get rid of this. Water. Oh, maybe it can be a horizontal. Yeah, I'm gonna change it. It's gonna be like this. Yeah, that's gonna be way better. So instead of having to cross upwards, I should have thought about this. The problem with that little gap was that you had to swim upwards, but swimming upwards in this game, like, you can see left and right a lot more than up and down. Like, the gap looks really wide from this perspective, but if it was left and right, it wouldn't feel quite as wide. So I'm going to try doing that instead. Can you suggest good enemy behavior to make battle dynamic, or anybody have chat suggestions? My suggestion that help with my combat is making it so that the enemies can retreat. Because it's really tempting just to make it so that enemies are full aggro, and they're always moving towards the player, and the player just has to move out of their way. But it's also kind of cool when the enemy is smart and decides to, like, move away from the player to get some distance, and then, like, they start shooting projectiles at a distance. Having that mix-up is really cool. Let's get rid of this, and... sound is dying. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh. Man, I have no idea. The mic's slightly unplugged. I think you might be right. Wow, I'm sorry about that. That's I had no idea. That was so weird. So was it like buzzing? It was like buzzing into the mic. Yeah, I look over and like the audio input capture is like super big. Thanks for letting me know about that. Yeah, white noise. Ugh. That's a big pain in the butt whenever that happens. I think that's the first time that's happened on stream, though. How about making it hard like a Souls-like game? Yeah, I think that's going to be on the challenging side. Or at least there's going to be different modes that some are more harder than others. More difficult than others. Shoal, hi, welcome in. I like this, but I do want the river to flow all the way to this side, so maybe I can make it... maybe there can be 2 gaps. Oop. Will I still use Love 2D to make my next game? Probably not, because I want to try making a 3D game, and proper engine would be better for that. What chair am I using? It's just a chair that I got from Furniture Row. It's an actual recliner. Whoa. Yeah, it's really comfy. It's probably too comfy, some might say. And make the water go underneath. Yeah, I could do that. So it's like a little island. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, do something like this. So I could move all these walls down. Should I do that? Yeah, I think that probably is a better use of space to do that. Good suggestion. So what this person was suggesting, for anyone who didn't hear, is I'm going to instead make it so that the water loops up down this edge, down the bottom. I think that would be better. We'll just do a first draft real quick. So the water looks really weird because it's like overlapping with the clips a little bit, but let's fix that real quick. I keep saying real quick. Okay, so the way that it gets covered up by these. I can put these and it just covers up the water. Whoa, the audio got weird. Huh, that was weird. I think I'm just gonna skip the song. We're having some stream issues today. Oh my gosh. Man, it's an unlucky day. This is kind of hacky the way I do this. And this is why I normally save the cliffs for last, because there's so much work involved with just getting everything in place. So yeah, like that's gonna cover up the water. I'll do that. I'll do the rest of it later. But I think that this makes sense. I need to make the river a little bit nicer looking. And actually, I probably should get rid of some of this cliffside down here. I think I'm just gonna get rid of all of that. Then I'll redo it. And really to help, like, visualize this, I might as well just draw water in all down here. Love the content and the style you got for the game. Really inspires me for my games. Awesome. Happy to hear that. Let's see. I'm going to try and put this down one tile. Like that. Maybe... Whoop. Yeah. That's pretty good. And then... like, the elevation is probably going to be something like this. Oops. Or maybe like this. No. I think something like that will be pretty good. Maybe I can move all of it up a little bit? I don't think there's enough room for me to move it up, actually. Maybe there is. Let me try. Using tile, but my map is growing bigger and bigger and tile is very laggy. I would recommend not making your map so big, or using multiple maps to and like render multiple maps at once. Do I still use Winfield? Yeah. But once Love 12 comes out, I probably will not. Probably won't be able to. Let's move this up one. Yeah, so like this is the only way to cross. So people are they'll figure it out. There's only one way to go. problem I have is big map in one file and split into chunks in my game. Big map in one file and split into chunks in my game. And you're saying that like when you have this giant map opened and tiled, you're saying the program tiled is laggy, or it lags your game? Because those are both different problems, and they're both like worth looking into. It lags tiled. You could try LDTK. So the makers of Dead Cells made their own map editor called LDTK, and a lot of people like it. The thing is, it's not that much different, but one thing that might be helpful for you is that it has really good support for having, what do you call it, bordered maps. So like this map, and then it would show you a preview of the map that's here, the next map. So it might be good for your project where if your maps are too big, you can section them up even more, and then the single one like project can have multiple maps rendered at once. So maybe LDTK is worth looking into for that. Okay, I think I like this format. Let's at least see if it makes sense in the game. We'll take a look. Awesome, cool. Yeah, I have it on this computer too. Someone mentioned it earlier. I've shown it on stream before. I'll show it again real quick, since I just have it. But what I liked about it is, this isn't a good example. Oh, I guess it's an okay example. Oh my gosh, the zoom in is crazy. It zooms in really, really fast. But the way I remember seeing it is, like, these labels are nice, and you're able to, like, attach levels together. It's really cool. But yeah, like I said, it's not different enough from tiled where it's been worth it for me to switch. But if it might, for some projects, be worth it. You can split up maps with worlds. I should look into that, because that might be helpful. Can you add mouse-only mode for phone? Can I add a mouse-only mode for fun? I don't know how a mouse-only mode would work. I have a keyboard-only mode where you can use the arrow keys and then like other buttons to like slash and stuff. So it has lots of different options, but I don't know about mouse-only mode. Oh no! I got stuck up here again. Oh yeah, I wanted to test out that map. That was the whole point of me starting. Okay, so I think the dimensions of this look pretty good. I'm gonna put the fire right here. Diablo is still where you click and move. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, honestly, RuneScape is like that too. So, plenty of games can do that. PoE is like that. You know, this is actually a little bit hard because it's at an angle. What should I do about that? Should I move everything down? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to move everything down because it's too hard to do this at an angle for the very, very first part of the game. The only reason it's hard is because it's the beginning of the game. It wouldn't be hard anywhere else. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that, and with that in mind, I'm gonna have to move these again. Maybe I can move all of these just down. I don't normally like doing this where it's at the very, very bottom of the map. Oh, I have to skip this song. I like this song, but I hate the Yoshi section. It's too loud. Okay. What am I using to design the game? If you're talking about like the maps like this is called tiled. But other than that, like I design the game on pen and paper a lot. I design it with my iPad sometimes, especially like the figuring out how to connect the levels together. It's a lot of drawing and redrawing, which iPad is really helpful for. This still looks too weird. I have to move something up. I think I'm gonna move the entire map up. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna leave terrain. No. Okay, I'm just gonna move. I think I can move this half up. I'm gonna try moving this half of the map up. It's gonna be really weird. Will the game be on mobile devices? All I'll say is I'm gonna try, but I don't know for sure. No. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and move this up one, like this. Okay, that's what I needed. But now I need to move the waterfall over, I think. Because now it's, you know, it's like too close to the waterfall where you'd be able to sneak into it, and I don't want that to be possible. This is hard. Can I move it over? I could move it over. Up and over? Mouse mode could be that you use a scroll wheel to move the cursor. Interesting. I really like it where it was. I don't want to move it. I feel bad. Is this the pirate game? No, this isn't that. I think that... Okay, I can fix this. I can fix this. This is going to stay the same. I just need to change the cliffside. I need to give more room here. Something like this, I think. So then the river kind of follows... It kind of follows the cliffside. That should work out okay. But then I do need to move the terrain down. Like this. This looks a little weird right here. It's not too bad. Well, actually, this is kind of bad because, again, you could sneak into the waterfall from there, and I don't want that to be possible. Is Cartesian only? Oh, I see. How the menu works? I can show you the menu, but, like, how it works is, you know, not super interesting just because it's all custom coded, but I really like how the menu is laid out at this point. How you can like has the different tabs and they're all organized nicely. The other thing that I've been working on is what happens when you click on it. Shiny mineral. So I have the new text boxes attached to it, but I need to make the... I'm experimenting with the fonts a lot, where I'm starting to not like the high-res fonts, and I'm going to try using pixel fonts, but the problem with pixel fonts is that they don't read as well, and a lot of them just don't look good. And if they don't look good, I have to use a high-res font. But when you use a torch and went into the water, the torch will expand the light area. Yeah, I think I noticed that. I think I noticed that too. Looks clean and crisp. Thank you. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on the UI. And actually, UI is kind of a big passion of mine. It's what I worked on when I was at Microsoft. I was front-end UI design. Or developer, I guess. But on that note, I think that we're on a good place to call it quits. I'm going to mess around a little bit more with this, but overall, like the main thing I was trying to figure out was getting this section to be a little bit more compact, and I can figure out the remaining, because I wanted to change this section to be more of a tutorial, where before this whole area didn't have much going on for it. You kind of just like walked from here over here, and then the tutorial was on the next room. But I want to make it so that this is a tutorial on this side, and then over here you have the spike dodging like game where you have to dodge through the spikes. But yeah, I'll probably pick up on that next week. Honestly, I can imagine myself doing level design for a while. So, yep. On that note, I think I'm gonna call it quits, and I will be back again for another stream next week. But thank you all so much for being here. We had so many folks in chat today. We had King Bloom, Weltrill, and Druve, and Adele, Ahmad, Wolf Eterni, Snibo. Thank you so much for being here. I will be back again next week, and I hope you all have a very good day. And I'll see you then. Bye, everyone.